It's fall in British Columbia's Bulkley Valley. Most of the summer volunteers have left.
That's good enough.
But work isn't over for Angelika Langen and the remaining crew at Northern Lights Wildlife Shelter.
In the morning, we make the smoothies, we make the milk, we let the moose and deer out, and they get their milk bottles. We have a lot of animal, and there's very few of us, so we need to try to use our time as efficient as possible.
Morning, guys. He's hungry.
The rehab team's biggest job right now is fattening up a dozen black bear cubs in time for hibernation. And next door in an isolation pen
Hey, Grumpy.
is a new cub named Henry.
In the den is Grumpy Henry. He's a little bear cub that came recently from Quinnell. God, you made a mess.
Henry is staying on his own for a few days, getting used to shelter life.
Hey, quit.
Henry arrived 3 days ago after his mother was hit by a vehicle. Now Angelika has become his mama bear.
I'm busy right now putting him in his place so that he learns to stay away from humans. That will be a valuable lesson for him going out into the wild, that he avoids people rather than tries to make himself the stronger of the two. Hey, you are such a grump.
Soon Angelika plans to move Henry to the hibernation pen, along with the other cubs.
Hopefully he can go with the group, and then he can meet the others and make friends. But if he has the same attitude towards them as he has towards me, he might be alone for a while.
Open the gate.
And there's a bunch of kids out there.
In the main bear enclosure, the hibernation group waits for their daily meal.
Like, oh, what's coming? Watermelon fest. We put some honey out too.
To make dinner more challenging, the volunteers set up a game of buried treasure.
It's gonna be fun. Man, that backfired.
Helping Kim is Marion, a new volunteer from Down Under, who's learning the daily routine.
Every day involves feeding the animals, and a big part of that is also not just feeding their bodies, but also feeding their minds, so that we get their minds active. They try and discover everything that we've hidden for them.
And no bear is better at finding food than Dion.
Dion is a monster. His size, when you compare him to the others, is out of this world. Never seen a cub this big.
Dion arrived in spring and quickly outgrew the other cubs, then used his weight to his advantage, establishing himself as the most dominant. And ever since, there's been a sense of order in the cub pen.
This group is very solid. They get along. There's play fighting and so on, but there's no quarreling.
This calm could soon end.
We are planning on moving our hibernation group into the hibernation pen.
And now joining the group will be Henry,
All right, let's see if we can poke him.
who will be first to be sedated and moved over.
We're gonna have to see if introducing Henry is gonna change the dynamics. Ouch! Up. It's a little bit of a cranky bear, so I'm a bit more cautious with him than I'm usually with the others. Okay. Look. Yeah, up is fine. Okay, in. We'll leave him alone for a bit. Hopefully he'll go sleep.
A few minutes later,
Oh, look at you. Much more peaceful. All right.
Like all of Angelika's cubs, Henry must weigh 50 pounds or more to be heavy enough to go into hibernation.
Okay, 1, 2. 31 kilograms. All right, up we go.
At 68 pounds, he's easily made hibernation weight.
So we'll put him over here in the shade.
Now the question is, how he'll react when he's joined by 12 other cubs.
Got the front. The group will either get him around so that he feels a little less threatened here and more comfortable, or he will just be shunned and then we'll have to keep him separate.
And if Henry has to hibernate on his own, he'll be in for a long, cold winter. At Northern Lights Wildlife Shelter, Henry, the grumpy bear, who's just been moved into the hibernation pen, is in for a rude awakening.
Just tip it, yeah.
As he's joined by the first of 12 cubs.
He wasn't too pleased to have company all of a sudden. Okay, who wants to be next? And everybody runs. Time! That's a lot, huh?
As more bears arrive, Henry becomes more protective of his personal space.
Every time a new cub came in, Henry didn't seem too much of a fan. I can tell you already that's one heavy bear.
But the real test for Henry will be when he comes face to face with Dion, the top bear of the bunch.
He's just huge.
He's on some kind of natural steroid, that's for sure. Whoa.
Can you do it or you want me to do it?
No, I can do it. It's just
Don't lose it.
unbalanced, right?
Yeah.
Before Dion,
2, 3.
their heaviest fall cub they've ever had, weighed in at 100 pounds.
Is it on?
Yep. Okay.
Go. 133.3.
Holy moly. Being that close to a bear cub that weighs 133 pounds, that is a whole bunch of bear.
He's so big. He's the biggest cub we've ever had. Go. Okay, start tipping.
Dion is nearly double the weight of Henry.
There we go. Good. You don't know what to think about that, do you?
If Dion is this intimidating asleep, how is Henry going to handle him awake? That night,
Good boy.
another new guest arrives at the shelter. The orphaned bear cub named Malimo has just survived an ordeal.
It's one lucky little bear.
Yeah.
Conservation officers found the skinny cub wandering in an area destroyed by wildfire.
This guy has some injuries, but we don't know how severe yet, really favoring one hind leg. We're going to take him to the vet and do a good check over. Hopefully it's something we can fix.
Early next morning,
Okay, good.
Angelika loads up Malimo.
We'll see what's going on with the leg. He finally went to sleep.
Okay, good, good.
Malimo is now sedated, so veterinarian Michael Desharnais can look him over.
So what,
So this is
the
the
leg
leg.
that's bothering him? Okay, sounds good. On the other side there, Angelika, and I'll just get to kind of just hold him just in case he reacts to what I'm doing here. Okay, that doesn't look very good.
Break.
Well, it certainly seems like a fracture to me. So let's take an x-ray just to confirm.
Okay.
We're just gonna take an x-ray of this bear. Did you already put a view in?
Bear coming through.
So just put them like that. That's perfect. And we'll just open this up. there's the fracture right there.
So the break in the femur is diagonal, and the bones have now shifted past each other. So the upper bone is down, the lower bone is up. So they're not aligned anymore.
As well as being displaced, the break is so high up Milimo's leg that a cast won't work.
So what options do we have?
Well, I mean, you can do an orthopedic surgery if you want, put a pin in it. How that's going to affect him is hard to tell.
Dr. Desharnais has never put a pin in a bear's broken leg. And as it heals, there will be added complications.
Most animals that we do orthopedic surgery on, we give strict instructions on restricting the animal's activities. And then obviously pretty hard to do that when you're dealing with a wild animal that you have no control over.
As well as the risks.
Costs.
You're looking at $1,500 minimum.
Angelika must also weigh the heavy cost of the operation.
When you're looking at an operation like this and you're holding it against maybe a rescue of a more healthy bear cub and going, well, do we have enough money to do those now? Yeah. We need to balance out the resources that we have available. And those resources are limited.
No climbing. Can't do that with your leg.
She'll ponder her options overnight.
It's one of those cases where you're going, what do I do? But if we leave him the way he is, he's not going to survive out in the wild.
Are you hiding?
At Northern Lights Wildlife Shelter, Angelika has made a decision about Milimo's leg operation.
It's a costly operation, but I think he's worth it.
There we go. Good.
Excellent.
She sedates Milimo so he can go directly into surgery.
This is his best chance at a good, solid life, and that's why we're attempting it.
Yeah, that's good. Just hold like that.
Putting a pin in a bear's leg will be a new challenge for Dr. Desharnais.
Obviously, you've done orthopedic surgery on cats and dogs and domesticated animals. But this is a first on a bear. IV fluids are hooked up? Okay. How's his heart?
Good.
Good? Breathing okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Just trying to get exposure to the fracture site. This big quadriceps muscle. It's easier to go around behind it. Okay, and there's the other end. Okay, so there's the fracture. Okay, let's just see if I can advance this pin.
Dr. Desharnais must get the pin in just far enough to secure the break.
Yeah, see, we're probably pretty close to being into the joint, right?
But if he pushes the pin too much, it could stunt the bone's growth.
I think that should hold. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take an x-ray of that. Let's see what we have here.
That looks good. I mean, I don't even think I'm going to advance any further than it already is.
The pin is perfectly positioned.
Yeah,
Thank
good.
you so much.
No problem. Cool.
That's
I
really
hope,
cool.
I hope it heals.
I think he's incredibly resilient. I've had a really strong feeling that he was a fighter and a survivor. Good boy. But you never know. It's a big open wound. No infection could set in. It's still really wobbly. We have to just wait and see.
Over in the hibernation enclosure, Dion and the rest of the cubs are out enjoying the last days of fall. But there's one bear who's not playing along.
They're pretty much all on the plateau, except for little feisty Henry there, who claimed the new den. Come on, guys. Come on. Chop, chop.
Henry hasn't ventured out even to eat,
Here you go, guys.
so Kim puts food near his den.
That looks yummy.
Henry should be packing on the pounds for hibernation. Instead, he just watches as Dion moves in on his apples. Little Henry just stood his ground against a bear twice his size.
My goodness. Look, I'm safe.
In the clinic,
Okay, there you go, sweetie. Your bed is made.
slowly, Malimo is on the mend.
There you go. It's just the cutest how he sits on there. It looks like a toddler in one of those booster seats.
Malimo still has a long way to go before he's ready to leave the clinic.
It takes 6 to 8 weeks to remove the pin. By that time, we're going to be in the cold winter months, and he won't have any hair
Normally, bear fur is slow to grow in.
because we need to keep him warm with the exposed skin. He's probably going to need to stay down here until springtime. He's just going to have a bit of a lonely stretch.
Late October at Northern Lights Wildlife Shelter. It's the last chance for the cubs to settle as winter is about to close in.
Hello, kids. How's it going, huh?
He's going, what are you doing?
Angelika's feeding a trio of bears too small to hibernate.
Hey, Nemo. How are you doing?
Among them is Malimo, the cub who could barely walk, let alone climb a tree.
Come on, Nemo.
The pin has been removed out of his leg. He has no problems. He's doing really well. Good boy. I didn't think we could let him out this winter. I didn't think the fur would grow back. But his leg is covered quite nicely and it won't be cold. I'm really happy with that because that means he can be with other bears and that makes him a lot happier.
Over in the hibernation enclosure, the cubs all huddle together to stay warm. Except for Henry, who still hasn't made friends.
At first, he was kind of just keeping a bit of distance. Starting to get a little bit more curious. All of a sudden, he started working his way up. He's really going for it. And now he's just sitting on top of the platform, quite close to them. Just hanging. Oh, That's his way of trying to be like, you know, it's okay, it's just me. He's already come a long way, so I really don't think it'll be long and he'll be just part of the group. It's really, really cool.
When winter finally arrives, for some, it's time to play.
You?
And for others, it's time to rest.
They're starting to get ready for hibernation. They play a little bit, and they take naps. And as temperatures get colder, they will be less and less active.
Hey, there you are.
Even Henry's made some new friends.
Now he's right in there, and he's sleeping with them in the same den. I think this whole group will be sleeping very well this winter.
Another year ends at the shelter.
It's been a very tough season. And I'm kind of hoping that the winter is going to be a little slow so we all can catch our breath. I think I need a nap.